3, 2, 1.
Glowing Up Latina, Season 3, Episode 2.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the second episode of Season 3 of Glowing Up Latina.
Hi.
Hello.
I'm Christina.
I'm Amanda.
And I'm Liana.
So, you guys, what did y'all do over break? Finally answer this question and let everybody know.
What I was supposed to do was incorporate some reading, because that's what we said on a post. Did not get to read like I wanted to, but I did go to the beach and I did spend time with family and it was nice. So yeah, I did 2 of the 3 things. Not bad for Amanda.
Let's see. I started writing again, which has been really fun. Spent a lot of time with family as well. We had like a family trip for my cousin's wedding, who got married in DR in July. So that was really fun to do. And I did pick up reading again, which has also been really fun. Have a whole TBR list now, which is great.
Oh,
So
wow. What are you reading now?
It's my advanced women's fiction stuff. So,
So that's what I was trying to get on board with, and just life was lifing. Had no time for that.
I forgot about advanced women's fiction.
Yeah. The one I'm reading right now is called The Arrangement.
Oh, that sounds steamy.
Oh, girl.
Very good. Over break, I also got back into reading. I am in a book club with one of my friends from law school. Right now, we're reading All About Love by Bell Hooks. I do have to get a new copy though, because I got caught in the rain that last week, and my book is like destroyed. So I need to get a new one. I'm also reading though All the Sinners by S.A. Crosby. I'm reading that on my Kindle. I heard about it on an NPR podcast and it's really good. Like I cannot stop reading this book right now. So yeah, I'm back into reading. Love that. One paper book that I have to replace, and because I'm taking notes in it though, that's why. And then my other book I'm reading on Libby, on the Libby app, which you can get on your Kindle. I didn't know that. Like through Libby, you can be like, I read on Kindle, and it'll send it to your Kindle directly. It's amazing. I love technology.
Look at that.
But other than that, I've just been working. I did go home a couple of times over the break, twice. I went back home for a football game. My high school is closing this year, and I went back for like the last rivalry game. Goodness. Thomas went with me that time because he wanted to experience Texas high school football, and it was a good time. And my mom and them were up here, so got some family time in. It was great. So that's what we have been doing over break. So by now, I hope everybody listened to episode 1 of the season. I feel like we've gotten so when we're recording this, it's Thursday. So the episode has only been out for like a day. And I feel like we've gotten really good feedback so far.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. But one of the things that like we did not get to in recording that episode is like the podcast is going to look a little different like from now on. We started the rollout of like how would you describe it, Liana?
I think we started to roll out like things to kind of elevate our brand, things that we want to establish Glowing Up Latina in a certain way. So I think like on social media, it's gonna look a little more consistent, a little more with our vibe and all that kind of stuff. So hopefully you guys like it. And if you don't, you can let us know that too. But be nice.
So yeah, you're seeing that on the Instagram now. And if you're watching this on YouTube, our backgrounds are different.
Mhm.
And as far as like our podcast episodes, so usually last season or last 2 seasons, I would lead the episode. And like we talked about in the last episode, a lot of that had to do with that, like, I was making all the agendas and coming up with the questions and stuff. And so in order to like, you know, share the wealth, we have started our sharing circle at our meetings. And, we come with a number of ideas, whatever number we decided the week before. And I think, what did we pick? Two or three of
Yep.
like of each, like Christina's ideas, Amanda's, Liana's. And the person whose like idea we're using leads the episode. And this week it's gonna be Amanda.
Hi, that's me. Yes. Oh my god. So I could just get into this? I don't
Yeah.
even know. It's so weird. It's I don't know. You make me nervous, Christina.
Goodness.
um. Okay. Yes. All right, guys. Okay. I mean, three, two, one. Hold on. Three. Okay, that's
This is the blooper for sure.
no, I can't be back to back 2 weeks in a row. God. Okay. Yes, you guys. So, like Christina said, I am gonna just like take over. I don't even want to say take over, but you know what? You get the gist of it. To follow last week's episode, I should say juiciest episode. As we were healing, some of the topics that you're probably gonna hear, or at least my ideas, it's like a lot of soul searching ideas. And with that, I just feel like I think forgiveness was one that we can all relate to right now with the girls. But I guess everyone in general, whoever's listening. So right. So I want to know from you guys, how do you guys define forgiveness?
Um, I think for me, true forgiveness is like when the thing that had bothered you or made you mad in the past doesn't really cause those feelings for you anymore. Like you've already made kind of like peace with it and you're like, I don't think you'll ever be okay with it, but I think you'll be like, yeah, this thing happened. I forgave that person and now we're here kind of thing. That's how I look at forgiveness.
Yeah, I think mine is similar. It's like acceptance in a way, like this is a situation and I can either let the situation like have a hold on me, or I can choose to like acknowledge and move on. Um I do not think that forgiveness always has to be like you going up to the person and like, I forgive you and continuing your relationship. I think you can forgive and like be done with the relationship also.
Hmm. Um. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, so right. So when I like thought about the topic forgiveness, I wasn't sure how I felt about it because like I think forgiveness is, yes, forgiving people or forgiving whatever has someone who has wronged you, just so that way you have peace with yourself, and move forward. But also, like, I guess I see what you're saying, Christina. Like, you can forgive and not always like keep a relationship with the person. If that's a part of you keeping peace, then yeah, then I guess it's okay to just like I don't want to say like get rid of the person, but
Take them out.
but just but just step away and not, I guess it ends there for your peace, for your own peace. So, okay. So right, with that we were saying like a relationship like it could be like platonic or intimate, forgiving someone, but a specific type of relationship that like I think about is family. Do you have like growing up, did you guys ever see your parents or family members like forgive other people or forgive family members within, amongst yourselves for something like either big or small? Did you see that growing up?
I
Mm,
don't think I ever saw like I'm sorry, let's move on, or like even like with me, I don't think I ever got it like I'm sorry that happened. I'm sorry I did that, whatever. I don't know, like, do Hispanic people be out here apologizing? I don't know.
You see, it's crazy because yeah, like growing up, okay, if I got in trouble and my mom like yelled at me, I don't want to say yell, but like scorned me and I knew it was coming right after the yelling. Like after that, she would come up to me and yes, she would be like, "I'm sorry that I overreacted." Like she would apologize for overreacting. Like she recognized her approach to the situation and she would say sorry.
Oh,
Yeah. And that's how like I feel like I'm able to apologize, or I'm able to accept someone's apology because I've heard the words I'm sorry from the most important person in my life. So, but I think with other family members, I think there have been like tiffs, and I've never seen anything like anyone be apologetic for their actions or words said. It's mostly like you said, it happens, the situation happens, and it's just like they, you know, dust what dust um dust it under the rug, right?
oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So they really don't you keep what's that mean? Keep on, keep moving, carry on?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So that's what I saw growing up from other family members.
I think for me, so I never saw my dad apologizing, like, for anything. Like, I would like, if he, like, bumped into you, he'd be like, "Oh, sorry." But then, like, for anything, like, serious, it was kind of like the same thing of, like, sweep it under the rug and kinda move on, like, the moment's passed, you have your feelings, I have my feelings, and that's it. My mom, on the other hand, she does that's so nice that she used to apologize for yelling. Your mom? But
Yeah.
I didn't get
I mean,
that.
this is after the fact I got yelled at, my ass got kicked, and she was just like, "Okay, all right. I'm
Yeah, that's
sorry."
nice. That's so nice.
I think maybe I got it once. One time.
Wow.
But I feel like it was
Mom?
one of those but I feel like it was one of those, "I'm sorry, but you made me." Like, but it was still, "I'm sorry."
I mean, either way, never got it, but regardless, it's
Oh,
fine. Um, but I did see my mom say sorry more often than I did see my dad say sorry. And it's so funny that you say that for you, Amanda, it's easier for you to accept an apology and also give an apology. Whereas for seeing my mom apologize, yes, she did it, but I could also see how hard it was for her to do it. Cause like she's the type of person that doesn't like to admit that she needs to apologize for something. And so like obviously seeing that, I'm just like, well, I don't need to say sorry either. So obviously that's not a good thing to grow up with, but it's funny cuz like they do that, but then they also are very quick to teach you how to apologize. Very like, like I would always have conversations with like those random conversations that you have like with your parents, and they're always giving you like those little moments of life advice. And she would always tell me like, you have to forgive and not always forget and blah 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 and all that kind of stuff. So she taught me a lot about it, even though I didn't really hear her say it much. But I mean, we're here.
My brothers and I always had to apologize to each other. That
Right. For
yeah.
what?
Like, they made me
I
mad. What do you want me
remember
to do?
oh my god. I remember so Matthew and I were 7 years apart, right? And so we grew up pretty close together. I had my own room. I had a big bed. Matthew had a little bed. He had like the toddler bed. Obviously, because he's a toddler. But he wanted to sleep with me. This is such a side story. I don't know if you want to keep it, but he wanted to sleep with me, so I was like, fine. He slept with me. I was having a sleepover with my cousin who was also like sleeping in my bed. So it was three of us. Matthew wanted the end of the bed. And I was like, no, this is my bed. And I'm going to have the end of the bed. He bit my back so hard that my mom needed to put Vicks on I was bleeding and I had to apologize. I was like, are you kidding me right now? Like, this is crazy.
Gaslighting.
I was besides myself. I was like, this is actually insane. I never forgave him for that, clearly, but here we go.
I mean, I don't blame you. That's wild. That's
Hilarious.
Crazy.
Oh my God.
What does an I'm sorry like for something like that look like?
I don't even remember how I apologized because I buried that memory so deep.
So, I mean, I guess it brings me to my next question because I guess we know the answer to Liana's question to this. Can you forgive and forget? And what are your terms for this?
No, that's locked in. What do you mean you want me to forget? I'll remember this until I die.
Oh my God.
It's just,
Amanda, you're forgiven
on a serious
person?
I am a very much a forgive and forget person. I am. I do like to forgive and forget. It just brings me peace. It just does. And I can't, I don't know. I don't know if I can like, I don't like holding grudges. I don't like holding like hard feelings with anyone. I don't. It puts me in a different mood. So I can forgive and forget. And clearly, like there are things that happen in my life. People like the most important people in my life who've hurt me. I've forgiven them. And maybe 95% have forgotten it because we're in a better place now. I guess every year I get older, I continue to forget that that situation happened in my life. So, but I will love that person unconditionally. So, I don't know. I guess I don't know if that makes me like a weakling or just like I don't know if that makes me super soft. I'm sure Constantine will listen to this and be like, "What a liar. What? She's such a liar."
I'm dead. But so like I'm not a I don't forget. Like I'm like noted. Like that's no we're writing that down in the notebook. But I also like
Oh my God, sorry. This brings me back to Real Housewives of New York. Are you like Jessel writing
oh
down
my God,
every
in her
stupid
app, yes, in her notes. That's gonna be me from now on. Actually, I'm just gonna be like, you know that meme of like BJ Novak on The Office. That's gonna be me with my little phone.
Yo, that's crazy.
For
Okay, sorry.
everybody, she has a list.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like,
Mm.
okay, I'm just like noted. Like, I can forgive you, and we can like move on. And I'm not gonna like harbor like if I'm trying to keep you in my life, then I'm not gonna harbor like any like ill will or like set out to like make things difficult. But I think it's like, what are the patterns that are happening that are associated with these behaviors? Like, because I'm not forgetting that. Like, I got to remember that, like, for me.
Does this go back to like, because I'm not gonna look a certain way the next time this happens?
Kind
Is
of.
that what it is for you? Okay.
Yeah. And then also
I can
just
understand that.
like, I don't know, like, I mean, I don't, maybe like some of my family won't believe me, but like with my dad, like, I forgive my dad for like what has
Mhm.
happened, but like, that doesn't mean I'm going to turn around and we're going to be best friends. Like, you know what I mean? It's just like, there are some things like I forgive because it's kind of like what you said. Like, I don't want to walk around like with all this like negative energy, all of this like, I was like angry about the stuff that happened with my dad. And I was
Mhm.
like carrying that around with me. And so, in order for me to like let it go, to like be free of that stuff, I had to like, I'm never going to have the answers that I want to the questions that I have. And that's fine. Like, I can live the rest of my life like that and it'll be okay. But as far as like forgetting and, you know, Maybe one day, but not currently. It's not like a path that I see for myself at this point. So that was kind of harsh. I feel a little bad now, but
No, I think no.
No, I agree. I agree with that. I think like for me, I'm also the type of person that I will forgive you because I want that peace within myself, but it's not something that I'm just gonna, you know, I'm not just gonna forget how you did me dirty, you know? But that's also like it takes me a lot of time to process like all of the damage. And so like I can go back to like in 6th grade. I went to school with a person that I thought was very close to me. We're actually family. They were in the same grade as me and they were my bully. They ended up being my bully. And like it was so traumatic for me and like they never apologized. I don't even think they know the kind of damage that they have done. Like to this day, I'm 30. I was 12 in the 6th grade, more than 15 years. I'm still
Mhm.
trying to get over those insecurities that were built in when I was 12. And so like those things, like I can't just forget all of that. Like I've forgiven that person. I'm here, I'm chilling, doing my life day by day. But it's not like Christina said, I can't just be buddy buddy with that person ever again. At that point, it's more of like I need to protect myself than anything else. Cause then I don't know like what happens if it happens again. Then I'm the idiot. Cause like I chose to forget it,
and
which
that's
has
the
happened to
cycle.
me.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's the
Yeah.
cycle that I was in. It's like I'm forgiving and forgetting, and I just keep end up getting hurt. Like, okay, so like, we're gonna cut that. I'm not gonna do that anymore. There are different levels to this. Like there are things that you can forget and you like whatever you move on from, but then there are bigger things. I think things like when you have to protect yourself, like how you feel about yourself, your heart, your like all of that stuff, like your soul, you have to protect your peace, I guess.
So then with that, with protecting your peace, do you feel like that also is like forgiving someone for your freedom as well?
Yeah, I mean, I think it goes hand in hand, like first you feel your emotions and then it's like kind of like the 5 stages of grief. These are like the 5 stages of forgiveness. Like you feel your emotions, then you kind of like, I guess, angry at first, and then you're just kind of like, hold on, let me think things through. Then let me process, let me talk about it. And then you're like, okay, I think I'm ready to kind of like accept an apology. I'm ready to say an apology. I'm ready to move past it, and then once that moment comes, I think that's when allowed your freedom to come back, like your peace to come back. But yeah, I think it goes hand in hand, like forgiving and forgetting that they've been in your life, maybe.
I do agree, like with Liana. I also think like for me personally, like I this past year had something brought up from like when I was a kid. And I'm in the process of like getting to the point where I can forgive everybody in that situation and move on. It's just it's hard though. Like it's hard work to like forgive people who one do not care if you forgive them, like do not think they did anything wrong, like are trying kind of make you seem a little crazy, but my energy battling them isn't well spent either.
Mhm.
So because like they're just never going to admit that like anything was wrong or that they did anything wrong or that harm was caused. So it's like the only way I win in the like win in quotes situation is like if I work like within myself to like just forgive everybody involved. Like no, I don't have to be deal with those people or have those people in my life, but for my sanity, for my sake, forgiving everybody involved in that situation and just going so I can be at peace again, so I can like feel at home in myself again.
Wow. That was very nice. That was touching. Wow. Um, I mean, for me personally, I think again, we already know where I stand. But forgiving someone for my freedom, yes, I can forgive to be at peace, to be free. But there are times where, like now I'm thinking about it. Now I'm really, really thinking about it. Can I really forgive and forget? Oh,
She's like, "Nah, let me change my answer. Let's go back."
not really thinking about it. I can forgive for my freedom, especially with like certain people in my life. And I get what you're saying, Christina, about you're keeping a tab, like noted, this happened. I'm not gonna forget. But because of like I do note it, but I choose to note it maybe so that way I don't find myself in that situation again. And it does give me freedom to move accordingly, if that makes sense.
hmm You're watching your
Um,
moves.
yeah. So then does it does it matter to you, Christina, like whatever the situation is, do you feel like you should always be forgiven?
Well, I guess I do think there are some things that are unforgivable in the sense that like you don't have to continue the relationship with that person. So I feel like I can't say you should always forgive me because maybe I have done things like people consider unforgivable, you know?
Yeah.
I haven't always been the best friend. I haven't always been like the best like whatever, you know? So it sucks. I think I'm awesome, but sometimes I can't be. So
um, okay. No, I don't think that I should always be forgiven for my wrongs. As much as I'd like to think that I'm perfect, I'm not. So there's always going to be a time where like I do something wrong and I hurt somebody without, or like maybe even with knowing, and like I'm not, I'm human. I'm not perfect. The time that comes to my mind is I'm nervous to talk about it because Norin is also here.
I want to know.
um my high school ex-boyfriend. And
Okay.
I think I talked about it in the very last episode of season 2. Now I'm kind of like, it's whatever, like it was literally 15 years ago at this point. Like there's nothing I can do. But when I had broken up with him, I had told him a different reason than why I actually broke up with him. And like like months after that happened, like that breakup happened, I started to feel like really bad about that
Mm.
because like I knew that they didn't deserve that at all. Um and then we had a conversation after the fact. I think it was like a year after that we had broken up. We like bumped into each other because we lived within the same neighborhood at this point. Um and like I kind of blew him off in a not nice way. And like that always sat with me too. And so I actually tried to like reach out and apologize and everything, but I don't think he ever forgave me for that, and he's valid for not, because that was really not nice. So, yeah, it sucks. Not
Mm.
being forgiven feels, it's a sucky situation, it's a sucky feeling. But they're valid in not wanting to forgive me. Like it was a really bad thing. So, I mean, I'm sorry. If you ever find this podcast, I hope you know who you are. I'm so sorry for doing that.
He's just like, nope. He's like, I will not forgive and I will not forget what you did to me.
It is what it
Um,
is.
I mean, as an adult now, I I can't apologize for things more. I mean, as a kid, I mean, you're a kid, right? You're a teenager. You don't really know how to say I'm sorry. It's kind of you feel a little bit awkward like saying I'm sorry. So there was a time where a friend of mine, we weren't in a good place and they did tell me, "I forgive you, Amanda, but I won't forget."
Oh,
And that has stuck with me for years, like years. And, you know, at the time, like I just didn't like I didn't know where that left us. I didn't know how to be around the person. I was very I was walking on eggshells because I wasn't sure if at any given moment they would just like completely ghost me and or completely stop talking to me. And I felt bad every time. We had like there were times where we were good, we had good days, and there were times where like it just wasn't like how it used to be. And again, I would like replay my day and be like, "Dang, did I do something today? Did I like I don't know, or maybe they weren't having a good day." Like it was weird, but I feel like this person and I, we have a better relationship now, and I'm so grateful that they're in my like they continue to be in my life. But because it like even though they told me I I'll forgive you, I can't forget, I won't forget. Like again at the time, it just made me like realize like I don't know if I can ever live with the fact like if I ever do something wrong to someone else and if they don't forgive me, I clearly cannot deal with myself. I don't know how to live. I don't know how to like I mean, I can carry on, but I mean, just like it's weird. Like I'm a
She's
very
not
empath
keeping calm.
I'm not keeping calm, exactly. I'm very much an empathetic person. So like
yeah.
I'm picking up on your energy, I'm picking up on your vibes. So anything that doesn't like it if it shakes me a little bit, I'm like, "Oh," I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah.
I've it doesn't like doesn't sit well with me and I just end up feeling like terrible. But again, I'm glad that I'm like me and this person are doing well. I appreciate them. But how I feel about not being forgiven for anything,
Yeah.
ugh.
Yeah.
And
It's
a
not a
lot of
good
people
feeling.
not a good feeling, and a lot of people could be like, "Well, I said sorry and whatever, I did what I had to do, so that's their problem if they can't forgive me." You know what I mean?
hmm
But I'm not
I
that
think it
I
like
will not rest until I am forgiven.
I hate that, and, you know, take for instance, like, Constantine and I can, like, be a little, like, pain in the ass some days, and I know that he'll just, like, be very serious about it. And then I do the, "Do you love me?" And he's like, "Yes, Amanda, just And I'm like, "Okay." I go, "I'm sorry." Mhm. I'm like, "But I said I'm sorry." Like, it's I can't. It's crazy. I cannot I just feel, like, terrible when someone is mad at me or I do I yeah.
I think there are people that I would jump through hoops for to be forgiven. And then sometimes it's like, well, I said I'm sorry. I acknowledge my behavior was wrong. I'm not gonna let you like hold this over my head because if like we want to continue to be around each other and like be in like whatever type of relationship that we're in together, like we have to move on. And if you don't want to move on or I can't move on or like collectively we can't move on, then I feel like that's also taking up like pieces of your piece. So it's hard. Like, yeah, it's like Leona said, like I like to think that I'm perfect, but I'm not, you know? And
Yeah.
like I want to believe that like I am everybody like loves me enough to like always forgive me, but I also think that like I don't know, we're humans, we mess up sometimes.
Hmm. Okay. So now it brings me to my last question. Are there things that still sting you and you haven't forgot? Oh, sorry, haven't forgiven?
Mm, I think I don't know if it's haven't forgiven, but it's just, like, working through it, I guess. I feel like I always fall back on this example, but honestly, it's, like, the best example that I have, particularly for something like this, but, like, with my dad, like, yes, I've forgiven him, and yes, I no longer, like, hold that, anger inside of me about the situation, but, like, sometimes it still hurts. Sometimes, like, I still get sad about it. Like, you guys, I went to a wedding this summer, and they played Butterfly Kisses during the father-daughter dance. I don't know if y'all know that song. If y'all don't, go look it up. But, like, when I was younger and I heard that song for the first time, I was like, "That would be a good song to do, like, a father-daughter dance with," and because it's, like it talks about, like, when they're a little girl, and then when they're a teenager, and then, like, on the day of their, like, marriage, and when I at this wedding, I'm, almost sobbing, and I'm like, "This is not the time for your issues right now. Put them away, my goodness." And so it's just like and I feel like there are people who are like, "Well, then you haven't forgiven him if it still, like, affects you that much." But it's not that I haven't forgiven him, like, I feel like I have, but just sometimes the universe knows how to pick at that one thing so perfectly. And so, it hurts sometimes, but
Yeah.
it doesn't mean I walk around every day like, "Oh my god, I'm so mad at him." No, I'm not living my life that way.
Like, to piggyback off of you, Christina, yes, my dad is also a good example of that. There are times where I, like, cave in and I will just say yes. And there are times where Constantine's just like, "Why do you always say yes?" Or "Why do you cave in?" Just like, "Ugh." I just do. It's hard to explain. But then this he can, like, do, like, the smallest thing to irk me, and I'm just like, "Oh," and I remember, and I'm like, "Oh." Like, yes, I have forgiven you, but there are times that he does things that I'm just like, it stings. And it kind of brings me back to that period where, like, our family dynamics were just, like, very rocky, and there was a time where I just didn't, like, just could not speak to him at all, like, there was no relationship. So I feel that, like, what you said about your dad, Christina, like, you can you feel like you've forgiven him, and that's what I do. I do feel like I've forgiven him, but there just sometimes I'm just like, "Ugh, why? Why?" But yeah. But I also think about, like, my dad and how he was raised, like, how often did he get to hear, "I'm sorry?" So it's all like like, we've discussed this before, like, learned behavior and, like, how they're able to, you know, take those lessons and or those learned behaviors and how can they change it? Um, so yeah, that's the reason why sometimes I'm able to forgive them because it's just like I think about how their childhood was and like it was rough. So how often did they hear sorry for them to know how to say like for them to also apologize for something? I feel like it's easier to just to turn the other cheek and be like, yeah, I did something wrong.
Here's this
So
thing that I
this is
got
me.
you as an apology.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
But I'm not actually gonna say if if Liana and I learn to say "I'm sorry" correctly, we'll be breaking generational cycle.
Look at that. Look at that.
Ooh.
What about you, Liana?
Um, yes. I'm in the same boat as you guys. I kind of like, yes, I've forgiven. I'll like for me, it's the person from 6th grade, my forever bully. Um, I have forgiven them. I feel like I have forgiven them. Um, they have no idea that I've felt this way for so long. Never talked to them about it. Don't think I ever will, and that's okay. um, I feel like I have forgiven them, but obviously, like, there are those days where my insecurities get the best of me, and I'm always just like, "Well, maybe that person was right about this and this thing," and all that kinda stuff, and, like, that's when the sting comes back and I spiral, and then I'm like, "Well, I'll always be like this forever, and nothing will ever change," and I just kind of, like, go in a whole thing, but, I think it's just it's a journey. Forgiveness is a journey. It's gonna be I'll be alright. I'll be alright. I'll be fine.
Forgiveness is a journey. And in that journey, do you feel like in throughout your whole 30 years of living, do you feel like you've made any decisions that didn't sit well with you and now you're just like you're practically forgiving yourself?
No, I don't think so. I think the other piece of advice that my mom always told me, like, always try to live with no regrets. Like, try to go through life without feeling that feeling. Like, always try to take those things as lessons and as life experiences to become a better person. So, even though I may have been a bad ex to somebody, like, that was an experience for me to know, like, okay, if I don't want to ever feel like this again, I should probably be more honest
Mhm.
about
Mhm.
things and, like, be upfront about what I'm feeling in certain situations and stuff. So that I don't think I don't regret it. I still feel bad about it, but I'm not like here wishing to turn back time.
Nice. I feel it. Yeah. Like I still like I feel like I'm in the like I'm still forgiving myself of things that have happened. Um cuz it has definitely like put me in a different mindset and how I should um you know, I don't want to say act accordingly. I don't think that's the word that I'm trying to say, but like just be a better person with those people. Um so I'm still for trying to forgive myself for I would say that those are wrongs and I'm I'm still like trying to forgive myself for that. Cuz I'll think about it and I'm like I'll think about it and I'll get like very sad and definitely get in my head and it'll be like right like randomly thinking about it. I'm like, ugh. I'll be at work and I'm like, ugh. But um and it's just like ugh. Again, I think I'm just it's part of also my healing.
It's hard. Forgiveness is hard.
Mhm.
Gotta be real mature. Sometimes I just wanna be real petty.
Yeah.
Oh my god, somebody in my job says
Yeah.
they call it petty spaghetti and I was just like, ah,
That's so cute.
I love that.
It makes it sound harmless.
Oh my god.
Oh, goodness. Well, let's give Amanda a round of applause. Yay, Amanda.
Woohoo!
You did it.
Ooh.
Um, okay, you guys. What is making y'all glow this week?
I get to see my mom this weekend.
Yay.
Woohoo!
Yes, we have a baby shower to go to. So I'm excited to see my mama, spend some time with her. It's just a short trip, but I get to see her nonetheless. And my friend is turning 30 this weekend. So happy birthday to you. And we're excited because we're going to celebrate her birthday. So yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah.
I'm seeing cousins on Sunday, so that's fun. I think
Ooh.
one of our younger cousins, she's turning, yikes, 20, 19? One of those. Um, so exciting to see the fam.
Very exciting. For me, I don't know, you guys, I gotta say, this weather has been pretty awesome. I know that we're on the tail end of like really nice weather. So I've been outside every day after work this week. I did take I walked around all of the park today. That was a lot. Like I got to your side, Amanda, and I was like, maybe this was a mistake. But I kept going. My AirPods died.
Oh
It was
my
nice
god.
though. I had a good time. It's gorgeous. It's been gorgeous this week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's been great. Go outside, you guys. Get fresh air. It lifts you up a little. They're
Yes.
right. The
Mhm.
scientists are right.
The scientists are right because I've been actually going for a walk. After I have my lunch, I actually go outside and walk like for 10 minutes. And I'm just like, okay, yeah. Now I see what they're saying. I get it. I get it. I get it. Fine. Fine.
That's so funny.
Okay, guys. So on that note, make sure you stream all of season 1 and season 2 wherever you listen to your podcast. Make sure you listen to episode 1 of this season. And if you made it this far, thank you. We love you. Make sure you rate our podcast, give it 5 stars, leave a glowing review, share it, like it, comment, all the stuff, all the things.
Yes. You're going to like it. You're going to share it. You're going to comment. And you're going to find us on Instagram at Glowing Up Latina. Please send us some topics that you want us to discuss this season because for our next meeting, I'm supposed to come up with 2 ideas and I have not come up with 2 ideas. So maybe you want to, help me out, guys. Just say it
Same.
specifically for Amanda. And you can send that to glowinguplatina@gmail.com.
And until next week, keep glowing me, huh?
Bye.
Bye.